Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I hope everybody's doing well and is all ready for the weekend. I'm in my lovely little room here in San Jose. I've been out and about this morning and I sat down in the garden and did a little bit video editing. The light's not quite right now. The sun's at a certain spot, so I'm going to try to do something from the garden later on today. Anyhow, today's talk is in a little way going to be sort of a continuation of yesterday because I get questions a lot of times, like kind of specific, what do you do about this? What do you do about that? When people are doing things, they're at a totally different place than me, and they're doing things in a kind of a different way than I came. Um, Much of my knowledge about the raw vegan lifestyle, as it is, what knowledge I have, as I've said all along, really comes from my personal experience, and my personal experience is different than a lot of people that I network with, that I'm around, that I talk to. I didn't have to heal anything. So I haven't had to really work hard like eliminating, doing the kind of elimination diet thing where you have to eliminate one food and you just really have to work to see what it is that bothers you and what works for you. So I came into this healthy. I lost weight, but really I had lost pretty much all the weight I needed to lose about the time that I became raw vegan, and just lost weight that I really didn't need to lose. So weight loss wasn't a motivation per se for me, or really wasn't by the time I got to raw vegan. And healing anything wasn't a priority of mine. So it was more preventative than anything. Like my path just kind of started before it was even about veganism or whatever, just kind of seeking some health information, after the lifestyle I had lived. Now, even though I don't preach, raw is law, and I was always sort of irreverent about that from the very beginning, I went very high raw immediately when I at the same time I went vegan. So I don't have that experience to draw from. And when people are, like I say, I don't knock anything. I'm not one of these anti-starch people, but I'm not a starch religious fanatic either. There's those out there. But I don't know how. I don't eat starches. I don't eat them very well. I tend to, when I am eating them, I'm just lazy. I'm in the States and I'm looking for something to eat. I don't mix it up. I mono meal and I just eat tons of. In other words, it's not part of my experience. So I don't really know how to tell people to do it when they're trying to eat a bunch of stuff that I don't eat. Which, like I said, as a continuation of yesterday, that's why it's very important that you work on developing your body intuition along the way as you're progressing on this lifestyle. Because if you're going to eat potatoes, if you're going to eat rice, if you're going to eat pasta, if you're going to eat whatever, it's pertinent to know exactly how you feel, exactly how it reacts in your body. I know for a fact, and like I say, it may just be the fact that I eat a certain way. I eat kind of in a lazy way with the fruit. I can just eat chunks of it, eat tons of it all day long. When I'm in the States and when I eat the potatoes, for instance, I'm not myself. I'm not at my optimal. And that's not to say that somebody else is not at their optimal when they're eating starches. It's just to say that's not what I normally eat. I went high raw. So, like I say, what you see really is what you get on this channel. This is kind of like a human experiment, as I'm always saying, instead of a preacher telling you got to do this and you got to do that. I'm more into the process than the details. But my details. Basically, my details are simplicity, and sometimes I think at some point or another, I see a lot of people fighting the message, or fighting just basically a natural way of doing this. In other words, they hold on to things out of stubbornness. They argue, okay, well, this isn't going to hurt me, or this works in my diet, when they know that doesn't work. But they're just a little too stubborn to let it go. When you just let everything go, I don't want to get too way out there in this talk, and I'm about to finish this one up, but when you just let everything go and really seek to eat what is optimal for the human body, you will find that. I mean, I have opened my mind, I've opened my heart, I've opened whatever I have to open, and I've played and I've experimented and I've paid very close attention to the little details of how I feel different when I do this, different when I do that. When everything's clicking though, I'm very hydrated, I'm probably right around 10% fat. I'm eating a good mix. I'm eating the bananas and getting my dense calories in, but I'm also eating a lot of fruit with high water content. For instance, in a day when I have if I have 20 bananas and I have say 4 or 5 plus mangoes, a bunch of greens, about 10% fat, I am flying. There you go. I just told you exactly what is optimal for me right there. But you've got to find out what's optimal for you. And I'll always try to still give tips and help people tweak things. I just wanted to make that very clear that I'm not a book learning person, or I haven't studied a ton of this stuff like a lot of educators out there that know us a lot of stuff. Or there's a lot of educators out there that just know because they had to know. Like I was talking with Tanny Raw a couple of weeks ago, and I was just like, yeah, well, you experienced this, you had this problem, you had this health issue. So you were highly motivated to be studying. So her range of knowledge just dwarfs mine, just simply because she needed to know, and it was personal. Make this thing personal. When you make this thing personal for you, and just stop, pulling along and hitching on to somebody and following, then you will get to a real place of health. Then you're going to get to your optimal place of health. Anyhow, hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I know I am. I'm going to the market in the morning, and there's some sort of special event happening in the parks downtown, so I'll try to get some video on that. And be sure and be around on Snapchat if you haven't already done that, because I will be snapping. See you guys. Peace.